Bore Dad Osbath Tree, and welcome to another learning video with Miss Marks. This week we're learning all about money and how to add and count the totals of different coins. Now, earlier on in the year we did lots about money, and one of our rich tasks was about shopping lists for Harry Potter. Do you remember? All of you did really well, so I'm sure you've remembered those skills and you're going to be able to extend your learning even further this time around. Now, I've got some coins here that we're going to practice adding together. Okay, now the first thing that we need to remember, which is super duper important when we're looking at money, is how many pennies are in £1. Okay, can you remember, can you tell me, or can you tell who you're watching this video with, how many pennies are in £1? That's right, so £1 equals 100 pennies. Okay, what do you think then about £2? How many pennies, or p, have we got in £2? That's right, 200. Now, if you remember that, then this should all be a little bit easier for you, okay? But that's the most important thing you need to remember right now. Okay, so I've got £1, £2, a 50p, a 10p, a 5p and a 1p. We're going to do some different adding ups of these coins, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, how much is a 50p and a 5p? What does that equal? It's nice and easy, isn't it? We've got 50p and we've got 5p. Add them together. You can either count it on in your head, or you can add on the 5 into the units column using your place value, and that will give us 55p. Diane. Now, sometimes you might get a question that uses a few different coins, okay? So it might say, our question might say, what is the total of a 50p, a 10p, and a 1p? What's the total of that? Now, when we've got 3 things to add together, it might be a little bit easier to start off with 2. Which 2 things do you think here, which 2 coins are going to be easiest for us to add up? We've got a 50p, a 10p and a 1p. Well, we know that 50 plus 10 is 60, don't we? Because 10 more than 50 is 60, so that's 60p. And then if we add on our 1p at the end, that would give us how much? 61p. Okay, so choose your 2 easier numbers to add together first and then add on the next ones. Don't try and do it all at once because it can get a little bit complicated. So even if you've got 4 coins, you could add together the first 2, then 1 more, and then 1 more after that. Now, when it comes to adding together coins that are the value of £1 or more and the value of pennies, we need to do something a little bit different, okay? So my question might be, what is £1 plus 5p? Okay, to make this a little bit easier for you, what we can do is we can change the pound into pennies. How many pennies are in £1? That's right, it's 100 pennies, isn't it? So if underneath we write down our new sum, so 100 pennies or 100p plus 5p, what does that equal? 100 plus 5 is 105p. But we might want to now put this back into pounds. What do you think we're going to need to do? We've got our 1s, our 10s, and our 100s here, haven't we? When you put something from pennies to pounds, you need to put a little dot after the hundreds number, okay? A little dot after the hundreds number. And that's a really, really, really important dot there, okay? It's called a decimal place. So we've now got our little dot in front of our hundreds number. We're going to get rid of our p because we're not going to give our answers in p. We're going to give our answers in pounds. We've now got the answer £1 and 5p. Shall we do another one? Okay, this time I'm going to say we've got £2 plus 10p plus 1p. First thing we can do is we can change this £2, can't we, into p, because these two numbers are using our p's. So let's change that into p. So rather than it being £2, we've got 200 pennies, or 200p. So what's 200 plus 10? Do that quickly in your heads. 200 plus 10, so 10 more than 200 is 210. Diane, so we know that those two together are 210. Then we need to add on 1p. What do you think we need to do? Count on 1 from 210. What does that give us? 211p. Diane. But as we know, we usually will give things in pounds, okay? Give money in pounds if it's over £1, okay? If it's over 100p, we would usually write it in pounds, okay? So we've got our ones number, our tens, and our hundreds. Where does our little dot go? Our decimal place, who can remember? That's right, it goes after our hundreds number. What do we need to do next? There's something that we need to get rid of, isn't there? Diane. We get rid of our p. And what do we add? We add in our pound sign. And what have we now got? £2 and 11 pence. Diane. Right, so that's the sort of thing that you need to do when you're adding together coins, okay? But in this question, we've just got amounts, okay? So we're not using our coins anymore. We're using amounts of money. This question says, Miss Marks bought a hat for £2.50 and sunglasses for £1.30. How much did she spend? So how much did Miss Marks spend? Now, there's a strategy that we've used, or a method that we've used for addition, that will be really, really useful here. Can you remember what it is? That's right, it's column addition. Okay, so column addition is really helpful when you're adding together total amounts. Now remember, with column, you need to make sure that all of your numbers are in the same columns. So our £2.50, we need to make sure our £1.30 matches up in the columns of numbers. Okay, so we can write our £1, which is underneath our £2, and our 30 pence. So we've got our ones numbers, our tens numbers, and our hundreds numbers, haven't we? So next up, we need to add it together. Where do we start then? When we're doing column addition, do you remember which side we start on? Diane, we start from our smallest numbers, so our ones numbers, okay, our ones numbers. 0 plus 0, what does that give us? Gives us 0. What about 5 plus 3? That's right, it gives us 8. Now here, we've got our little dots, our decimal points, and it's really important that we remember to put that in the same place, okay? So we've got next our £2, add our £1. How much is that? £3. So our total for how much Miss Marks spent on her hat and her sunglasses is £3.80. Diane, everyone. Remember, the most important thing that you need to remember with money is that £1 is the same as 100 pennies. And that if you're doing column addition, you must make sure everything lines up together. So your 1 pennies, your 10 pennies, your dots and your hundreds or your pounds need to all be in the same column when you're adding them up together. Good luck. As always, I'm on Seesaw if you need any help at all. Speak to you next time. Bye.